Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. How was your Valentine's Day?
It was good. It was good. No
It was
complaints.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went to
yeah.
dinner. I hadn't gone out in a really long time. Had Mexican food, but it was nice.
Okay.
It was nice.
All right.
Yeah.
So
So,
you had a nice
speaking of
meal.
what?
I said you had a good meal then.
Yes, I did. I did. And speaking of hearts, did you know that February was American Heart Month?
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I
Yeah,
knew that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's smart that they did this because they correlated Valentine's Day
Yeah.
with heart. So you would
Mhm.
remember. But it's a time for us to remember to take care of our hearts.
Mhm.
And heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in the United States, and it also affects blacks at a higher rate than other races. So we really need to take care of ourselves and make sure that we take care of our hearts. And one other thing that I read that kind of made me sad, but I think it's something that, especially we as women, should
Mhm.
know cardiovascular disease, including strokes and other heart conditions, are a leading cause of pregnancy related deaths, which are
Really?
highest
Oh
among women of
wow.
color.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did
So
not know
I
that.
didn't know that. And came across that fact. And I said, wow. So while, women are pregnant, they're more susceptible to, getting
Mhm.
strokes and other cardiac related diseases. So it's really, really important that we take care of ourselves. It's not something that we can just take lightly, especially as we get older. We need to really, think about what we eat,
Mm.
our diets.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
American diets don't always allow us to, have the healthiest diets, but we can make choices. And now we
Make
have a
better
lot of
choices, like
information.
you said. We
Hmm.
we have the power to make the choice, and we just
Absolutely,
need
and
to
there's so much
decide
information
to
out
make better
there.
choices.
Right, right. There's so much information out there that we can definitely make the right choices. Getting regular exercise, of course. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I think we did a talk before where I said
Yeah.
exercise is medicine. That's my
Yes,
motto.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
preach it every day, and it's so important because it also can help just an array of other conditions as well. But managing your stress, it's a huge thing, right?
That's super huge, and we need to talk about that a little bit more, especially for women of color. Like there's stressors coming from us at all angles. And I just was listening to a podcast this morning, and it's interesting that you said, about heart health and it correlating with Valentine's Day. um, there were these men talking about, oh, well, what, Valentine's Day and what their significant others wanted for a gift. They wanted rest. Some asked for just pay for my gas because gas is high. Buy me some groceries, like nothing, not the traditional stuff. Oh, I want chocolates. I want, this, that. That most of them, and these were men of color that were talking on this podcast. And they were like, yeah, they were just like, could you just leave me? Can I just get some rest? I just
Wow.
need to just have some quiet time, just rest and relaxation. And I thought, wow, that speaks volumes. Like now that's what we're asking for Valentine's Day. Is
Right. But
just and that tells you that the stress level, right? Everything
it's
that's going
so
on.
true. Oh my
Like
goodness.
just give me some rest. That will show me that you love me and you care about me if you allow me to get some rest.
I love that you said that. You're right. And the COVID has just added an extra layer of stress,
Mhm.
especially when you have little ones, you have teenagers. It's rough, but it's the things that stress can do to the body, it's just unbelievable. So I can believe that. I can believe that. And when you do get it, even if you just get 6 to 7, 8 hours is best, of course, in terms of sleep. But even 7 hours, you just feel like you're a new person. And who gets 7 hours of sleep every night?
I don't. I just had this conversation with Dr. Baptiste. We were talking about being selfish in 2022, and one of the last S in selfish is to get sleep. And I confess that I don't get the amount of sleep that I'm supposed to be getting, and so he gave me some tips, which I've been working on. Gave me
Oh,
some tips,
good.
and yes, he gave me some tips to use, so that I can start gradually working up, right, to getting the amount of sleep that is required by,
Required. Yes.
right. So,
So
but
what were some of the tips
I
that
can
he
do
gave
more.
you? I'm curious.
he was saying that, just try to do things 15 minutes. Like one of them was like, really make sure that your evening time, you're winding down instead of winding yourself back up. Because he was asking me, what do you do during the evening? And I said, oh, I come home, get dinner ready, do everything, help with homework if I need to, X, Y, and Z. And then I usually jump on my computer before I go to bed because I'm like, oh, I had this last email or whatever. And he goes, you're just ramping yourself back up. And that's why you can't quiet the noise when it's time for you to go to sleep. So he was encouraging me instead of, because I was telling him too that I had taken some of your tips and I was, doing my exercises in the morning before I go walking. And he was like, well, maybe you should do, your exercises at the evening time, maybe like yoga to kind of quiet yourself. Make sure you're not getting on your electronics, an hour before you're trying to go to bed. And then just gradually start, 15 minutes earlier, like try to get in bed 15 minutes earlier than you did before, right? Even if you do it for a whole, week, get in there 15 minutes early. Like if I'm trying to get to bed before midnight, 11:45, I'm just saying,
Wow.
11:45, right? Make that your thing, right? And then gradually move it up. And so, yeah, it was really helpful because he was saying, I don't want to just tell you, just Michelle, you have to shut it down at a certain time. And that's what I kept trying to do. I knew like I need to get so many hours of sleep, and I was doing my best, right, to cram everything in as much as possible after I got off of work and got home, to come home and, like do everything and get in the bed at 9 o'clock. But then even if I managed to get into bed, I still wasn't going to sleep until like 11 because my mind was thinking about all that. Like, I can't be sleeping. Like, I have too many more things, right? That I need to
Oh.
accomplish. So he was like, do some yoga, do something that's relaxing in the evening time to calm yourself, take a bath, just do something that's going to calm yourself, and don't continue to do what I've been doing because, of course, that's stimulating my brain instead of
Right.
calming it down. So it's been very helpful. And I know that sleep is important, along with eating right, like you said, and making better choices about what we do choose to eat, eat for health instead of, our desires of things that we want.
Sometimes that's hard, but I
It
was listening
is.
to this
It is.
webinar last week, and I have a little bit of a challenge with the cooking and the grocery shopping. I just want to grab the quick thing, but I'm trying to do better. And I heard a webinar, and this really made sense to me. 3 words for shopping: seasonal, local, and organic.
Okay.
Seasonal, local,
Okay.
and organic. And I said, I can remember that. So when I
So
go to the
buy things
grocery
that are in season, right?
right? So things that are in
Well, how do
season,
we
veggies that
know?
are in
How do we
season.
know? Even though they're presenting in front of us, because a lot of times there'll be stuff that's available, but it's not necessarily seasonal.
Seasonal, right? So I guess that comes from us doing research.
Okay.
Yeah, because right, it's manufactured, and we don't
Right.
necessarily want to eat that.
Right.
So make sure we kind of know what's in season at the time, because there are people that can just rattle things off of their
I
head.
know.
I
I'm not
can't do
that
that.
person. Right.
I would need to do a little research. But seasonal, local, so it's not coming from Alaska, or it's not coming from Maryland, in a
Right.
truck for seven
Right.
days, and then the preservatives, local and organic. So I said, I can remember that. If I can just remember those 3 things, that could make a huge change in my diet.
Yes.
So I thought that was very helpful.
No, you're right. You're right. And it's, we just have to be more intentional about eating to live, right? You know,
Absolutely.
I think everything's in moderation. Yes, you can have that, whatever that thing is for you that you desire. If it's cookies, chocolate chip cookies, or I'm
Right.
telling my secrets now. But if that's your vice, I have to
Right.
talk to myself.
Moderation.
Like
It's
drive by the
moderation.
Panera. You don't need to get a cookie every time you see Panera. But that's just my thing. So in moderation, right? But yeah, I really think about it now though. Seriously, when I'm
Yeah.
putting stuff in my mouth, I'm like, is this gonna nourish me? Is this gonna help me? Right? Is this gonna
Right.
heal me, make me feel better? Or is this gonna weigh me down, make me lethargic? And kind of, and it really has started to help me make better choices. I mean, seriously,
Mm.
when I'm very conscious and intentional about thinking, oh, should I eat this cookie or should I grab this apple?
Yeah.
Okay, I may not really want the apple, but I know that, right? No, seriously,
Right.
as far as
Oh.
like midday, it's going to help me make it to the end of the day where I'm not going to have that high for a minute and then crash, you know, by
No,
the end
you're
of the day
exactly right. And I
because,
think that you said a word that is my word for 2022, intentional. We just have
mm,
to be intentional in all of our actions, and with the diet, with the exercise, it's just making a choice. I'm going to exercise for 45 minutes today. I'm going to exercise for 30 minutes. I'm going to take a walk 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. That totals 30 minutes. You've met your match. You met your number. The American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes of exercise per week per adult. 150 minutes. So that might sound a little daunting, but when you break it up, 5 days, 30
yeah,
minutes a day. That's not bad at all. And you can even break that up, as I just said, 30
yeah.
minutes, 15, 15.
I
That's
use
so easy.
I
Everybody
used
can
that
do
from
that.
you because I was, I had already said I was committed to walking, right? I was like, I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit because I have to walk. So I'm going to walk and I love to go outside and get that in. And 15 minutes for me for walking, it just wasn't enough. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, so I definitely going to get my 30 minutes in for walking, right? Whether it's morning or afternoon or evening. But then I was like, ooh, I can I felt like I was cheating in a sense. I don't know. It's just the
Why?
way my brain works. No, I was just like, ooh. And I exercised for 15 minutes. I did the workout that you gave me. I was like, ooh, and I did that. Actually, it's 20 minutes. But anyway, I kind of felt like I had kind of like somehow cheated, but I was like, I'm the one who benefited because I got an extra amount of exercise in, right? I got my 20 minutes
Absolutely.
in from actually doing my stretches that you showed me, as well as my 30-minute walk. So I was like, oh,
That's
look
awesome.
at me. I know.
That
I was
is
like, look
awesome.
at me. I'm
That
actually
is
doing
that is
something.
that's amazing. And with the stretches, that's one thing that I do before I go to sleep, just to help to
Okay.
calm me down. So I'll put on some nice, meditation music, classical music or whatever, and I'm quiet and I just do some stretches. Hold for 30 seconds. It really just it's amazing. Like move, we were made to move. And just the stretching, it just calms you down, centers your breathing. It prevents us from being chest breathers and more diaphragmatic
Yes.
breathers. It's just it
Yeah.
improves the circulation. It's amazing when we really, we used to hear all these phrases that were so cliche. Oh, you move it, you lose it.
Right.
Yeah, if you don't move, you're gonna gain weight, or you gotta breathe, or you gotta take deep breaths. It's so true. This is how we're gonna function at our maximum capabilities. So I really am now seeing the benefit. I've been teaching this for so many years, and even in school, I
Mm.
really didn't get it. But now that I'm older and I see how it affects people, I see people that come to me and they can barely move and they just start doing a little exercise twice a week. They're like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I got on the scale. I've been coming for 2 weeks. I lost 5 pounds. Like
Right.
they're ecstatic. I'm like, yeah, I'm just so happy for them. And they can really see the benefits. They're like, I feel so much better. My blood pressure's down. My doctor said that I may be able to get off of some of my medication, and
Mm.
my diabetes is better. And I know that we're getting off of a tangent here, but it all ties together. The,
It
the heart
does.
disease and the
It does.
diabetes, especially for us, for people of color. It
Mhm.
usually goes, and they're pairs, and they're triples, the heart disease, the diabetes, and that just leads to other things. So if we can
Mhm.
just learn to make the healthy choices and get out there and move and just take a few minutes for yourself every day, self-care, take care of yourself. There
Mhm.
are people that are looking to you that need you, but if you're not
Absolutely.
healthy, then you can't take care of other people. So just think of it as your responsibility to yourself
Mhm.
and the people that love you. That's how I look at it.
No, I agree. I think that is a beautiful sentiment to leave off on, that we need to love ourselves, right? It's Healthy Heart Month and it's Valentine's, the month of, love.
Love.
So we need to love ourselves and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, eliminating the stress, eating better, making healthier choices, making sure we're moving. And we love ourselves enough, and we can be around to love those that we care for daily. So
Exactly, exactly. And we need to go to the doctor. We need to go to the
yes,
doctor.
yes, we
Make
do.
that a
When we
priority. Because even for
feel
me, sometimes I'm
something
like,
that's
oh
going
my,
on.
did I go to the doctor last year? I did not. So I need, with the pandemic, you get busy and you look up, time is flying, and I didn't make my appointment. It's time for all of us. I have several friends that said that they weren't able to do that. So it's time for all of us to get caught up with all of our visits as well.
Absolutely. We just need to take better care of ourselves.
In
It's been a
general.
rough few years. And if we haven't learned anything else, hopefully we've learned that lesson that, we can't afford to keep playing around
No.
and, oh, I'll get to, yeah, I'll figure out how I'm going to exercise or I'll
Right.
make better choices next year.
Right.
COVID didn't give everybody that opportunity to see
Correct.
another year. So
Correct.
we really need to, take this moment and appreciate it and do better.
Right.
That's all I ask of myself and that's all I ask of those that I love is, just do better. Just pick one thing and try to do better.
Right. I agree. I agree. Life is precious and we just
Yeah.
need to not take it for granted and take care of ourselves. And like you said, take care of the ones around us
Yes.
and just be so we can live our fullest, happiest lives. So that's that.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Black Facts. Dr. Danielle and I have decided to partner and create short Instagram and Facebook health chats. We're affectionately calling them BP Hanging with the PT. Please connect with us on the last Monday of each month as we chat about health issues specific to Black women. Hope to see you there.